will call the September 10th, Tuesday, Town Council meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. And Anna, would you lead us, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have Interval House coming in today, but they called and they are running late, so we're going to do a pivot. We have no public hearing today. Any new items?
Yes. To add appointment L20, that Gino Avenoso be appointed as constable for the balance of a 2-year term beginning immediately and ending January 1st, 2026.
Okay.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second just to add that to the appointment list. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Public comment. Shall we start inside?
That's how we typically do.
We do. Come on up, Tim. Hope you had a nice summer. State your name, address, and you have 5 minutes.
Need that. Tim Kelly, 62 Westview. Thank you for your time. On August 26th, I attended the grand opening of our new high school, as many of you did. At the ceremony, a couple of our town officials proudly pronounced that the building project was completed on time. This was certainly joyous news to me. Candidly, I had my doubts along the way that this would be accomplished. But we did catch a break with several mild winters during the construction period. However, during the open house, it became obvious the facility was not yet complete. The Black Box Theater was unfinished. The auditorium was still under construction. Academic towers were blocked off, so it's hard to know if all the classrooms were fully finished. Status of locker rooms and culinary arts area was unclear. Tonight, during committee reports, I'd like to hear details on when the building will actually be completed and what contractor penalties, if any, will be assessed for late delivery. So, for instance, if it's fully finished October 1st versus, say, August 1st. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Do you have anybody online?
We do. Jay Tulin has his hand raised.
Hello, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, Jay.
Loud and clear.
Okay, that's good. So you have a pretty hefty agenda. I just kind of wanted to call your attention to a couple of events that are coming up. So I will do that. And if you are not aware, I'm about to make you aware. October 7th at the Bethel Temple in West Hartford, Albany Avenue, which was the temple that I was a member of, there is going to be an event to pay tribute or whatever, or to acknowledge what happened last October 7th. So I want to make you aware of that. They are requiring pre-registration. If anyone is interested, I told them all that I was going to make you aware of it. If they do require pre-registration, the link is available on the Greater Hartford Jewish Federation website. I can send it to anyone because I'm on one of the committees there. Also of interest, Voices of Hope, which is a Farmington organization, which is an advocacy group that's kind of specific to Holocaust education, is also one of the co-sponsors. I'm on one of their committees. So I mentioned to both of those groups that I would kind of bring that forward and let you know. There's going to be a number of people. The governor's going to be there. Senator Blumenthal is going to be there. They're going to have some music. They're going to show some videos. I would imagine there's probably going to be some sad stuff. I'm not going to make this a political comment at all, but I wanted to make you all aware that that is an event that will be coming up in October. And if anyone's interested, like I said, you can get it on those links, or I'm happy to send it to anyone because I have that. On October 9th at the Bristol Event Center, there is going to be a candidate forum, Shaping the Future of Disability Rights 2024 Candidate Forum. That's from 2 to 7, Wednesday, October 9th, Bristol Event Center. Diane Smith is going to be the moderator. I don't know who's going to show up, but I know all of the federal people that are running for election, our congressional seats, Senate seats, and president and vice president candidates are being invited. Whether they come or not, I don't know. I'm also involved in a couple of disability groups, so it will be a very informative event. Disability rights is obviously very important. It's something near and dear to my heart. So I want to just make you aware of those two events. There are a couple of other things I'm working on. I will bring them forward to you probably at your next meeting. But I appreciate your time, and that's all I have to say for now. Thank you. Again, if anyone is interested in those, I'm happy to send the links because they do want pre-registration for both of those events.
Thank you, Jay.
Thanks.
Jay, and just for the record, your full name and address.
Oh, I am supposed to do that. I should know that by now. Sorry about that. Jay Tulin, 39 Timberline Drive. Shame on me.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Joe, and everyone else.
Have a great night.
Thank you, you too.
Anybody else, Kat?
No other hands are raised.
All right. And then we will close public comment and we'll go over to item G.
Make a motion to accept the July 9th, 2024 regular town council meeting minutes.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion, corrections?
A correction, item J4, it should be Ms. Palumbo, not instead of Mr.
Oh, sorry.
Anything else?
We're sure Gary wasn't here.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. H, we have none. So we'll go to reports of committee. 1928. For the 1928 Building Committee, we have contract site work awarded to J.R. Paluccio in the amount of just over $1 million. Bid for building renovations was issued on August 18th, 2024. The mandatory pre-bid meeting was held on September 4th and was very well attended, so we are very excited to hopefully get some great bids coming in. Bid opening will be held on September 24th, and our next meeting is scheduled for September 17th at 4:30. High School Building Committee.
Yes, so we were all at the ribbon cutting together on August 26th. Our next meeting is September 18th. To try to answer some of the questions that were raised during public comment, my understanding is that it's only the auditorium and the black box theater that needed more work. All of the academic towers and academic spaces were complete by the time the building opened. I don't know, Kat, when the rest of those spaces are scheduled to be completed, what we're thinking in terms of the auditorium and the black box?
I believe it'd be in the next within the next few weeks to the end of the month.
Okay.
Black Box is open today.
Black box is open today.
World class in the Black Box Theater tomorrow. In about 2 weeks, the auditorium.
Great.
And then there's just punch list items. And Mr. Kelly asked a question about any kind of penalties because the building wasn't done.
No, they had got their teeth together to see how we posted started.
Right.
And obviously, the whole building wasn't open during the tour just for safety. There wasn't enough staff members on board to have every classroom and every tower open for the tours. So they had a limited viewing.
And we're gonna have a full tours in October. I don't remember that date.
Yeah, it's going to be October 26th. We'll be offering full tours to the public. And like was just said, school was opening the next day, and with that many people in attendance, it was just trying to keep it as controlled as possible for the open house.
Thank you. Chair report. All right. On Thursday, September 26th, Services of the Elderly will be Driving for Hope charity golf tournament. If anybody's interested in attending to play golf or just attend a dinner, please call them at 860-673-1411. On September 28th and 29th, the historic Unionville District will be doing a walking tour, beginning at the Masonic Lodge, 22 Main Street, Unionville, travel along Main Street to the intersection of Perry Street and back. The tours will run from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday and 1 to 4 on Sunday, leaving every 90 minutes. Check out Explore Farmington and sign up for the newsletter to stay in touch with all the things going on, especially there's several things going on this weekend, from a polo match, chicken stock music festival, yoga on the land. Tomorrow, the 23rd anniversary of 9/11, Troop 170 will hold their commemoration ceremony and flag retirement. It'll be tomorrow at 6:30 Unionville Gazebo. Parking is available on Mill Street and at Union School. Candles with holders will be provided. If you wish to have a flag to be retired, please bring it. For the big election coming up, absentee ballots will be mailed out starting October 4th. Please go to the town clerk's website and fill out the information where you can put your school address if you're attending college, and start mailing everything out to you on the 4th of October. Unionville Museum has 2 things coming up. First, they just started on the 8th with Hidden Treasures of Unionville, 40 Years of Collecting. That will run until December 29th on Saturdays, Sundays, and Wednesdays from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. To help celebrate this museum's anniversary milestone, they've searched their collection of over 10,000 artifacts and photographs to bring you an amazing exhibit of rarely seen items and memorabilia. Stop by and enjoy the memories. And lastly, Unionville Museum's 40th anniversary party will be Friday, October 18th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Tunks's Country Club, 87 Town Farm Road. Hors d'oeuvres, cash bar, and 1 complimentary drink is included, $50 per person. You can go to the Unionville Museum to purchase tickets. And from there, we will move on to the Board of Education.
So the Board of Education has not yet met for this school year, but I did talk with Chair Bill Beckert today just to get a preview of what's to come, and he acknowledged that the transition to the new bus company has been challenging with multiple issues, and he acknowledged the board is aware of these issues. There have been multiple discussions with Superintendent Greeter to try to resolve it. Specialty Transportation will be speaking to the board at its meeting next week on September 16th to respond to many of these concerns. And he asked that I reiterate that the board's working hard to solve it, but acknowledges that these are significant issues and the public is rightfully frustrated and annoyed. Annoyed is a gentle way to put it. So he said that anyone who wants to make public comment to the board should attend the meeting on Monday, the 16th, at FHS. The FHS opening, he reported, was well received. He confirmed as well that he would be addressing the status of the auditorium and the other aspects of the school in his opening remarks. Otherwise, that's it for now. Next meeting, Monday, 7 p.m.
And I actually believe for the school bus issue, the board did issue a letter to all the parents showing an escalation clause of phone numbers and contacts in order to follow a progression.
Thank you for
You're
sharing that.
welcome. All right, Conservation Inland Wetlands.
Yes, so Conservation and Inland Wetlands last met a weekish ago on the 4th. There have been some routine applications. For example, Winding Trails submitted an application to build a pavilion near the pickleball courts, so that way people waiting to play can wait in the shade. The commission, the Inland Wetlands Commission, did approve that, subject to ongoing discussion with town staff to make sure it meets erosion requirements. There are 2 ongoing enforcement actions related to activity in the wetlands or the upland review area without a permit. And then the Conservation Commission also discussed Farmington joining the Highlands Conservation designation, or obtaining the Highlands Conservation designation as the boundary has been expanded. The next meeting will be September 18th at 7 p.m. here in Town Council chambers and on Zoom.
Thank you. Economic Development Commission.
They are actually having a meeting tomorrow night, so I have nothing to report.
Thank you. TPZ.
the Town Planning and Zoning met last night, September 9th, and they had a fairly brief agenda, but a couple of things. One, there's going to be a public hearing for some blasting, for a special permit for blasting that's going to occur up at the Colt Highway 8120, 8122, and that hearing date's October 7th. And then just kind of trends that have been kind of ongoing. There's, just seems like a stream of applications for special permit for detached accessory dwelling units. Those are very common and come in front of the Town Planning and Zoning. In addition to that, there has been some ridgeline protection areas that have also been discussed in the meetings, and that seems to be also a trend. But, staff has looked at that. Staff is, kind of, weighs in with their professional opinion, and I think the commission does a good job in as far as just mitigating those impacts.
Excellent.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, we'll move over to K, report of the town manager.
You have the written report in front of you. Just a couple of things to highlight. We did have a Moody's credit rating, and we did, once again, was assigned a AAA Moody's credit rating, which is the highest credit rating a municipality can receive. And thank you to Joe and his staff. It's a lot of work to get the ratings and go out for the bond sale, which is the next item. And we did have a bond sale, and we did very well with that. And there's some information in the packet about that. The second item is that we have two second town council meetings, September 24th and October 22nd. We thought the September 24th meeting, we would have a workshop meeting in which the council would discuss the next set of priorities among the goals listed in the strategic plan. And October 22nd, Miss Porter School has invited the town council to hold a meeting at Miss Porter School and do a tour. As we talked a couple times tonight, we did have the ribbon cutting for the Farmington High School. That went very well, and I just wanted to thank, obviously, our taxpayers, our state and local officials, the Farmington High School Building Committee, and multiple ad hoc committees for making this project a reality. I'd also like to recognize Kat and Russ, my staff, who have been working really hard in the overall high school project, and Kat at her hard work on the ribbon cutting. So I don't know if you have any questions.
First of all, again, thank you, Joe, Russ, Kat, everybody for all your work. It's truly appreciated. Does anybody have any questions about the report? Go ahead.
A question probably for Joe about the credit rating from Moody's. It says under the challenges that reserves are below national medians for the AAA-rated towns, and then it also refers to factors that could lead to a downgrade being operating imbalances resulting in reserve depletion to below 30% of revenue. I was wondering what's the median and where are we in relation to the 30% of revenue?
The median is about 30%.
Okay.
But you have to remember, when you look at the national medians, you're talking about the entire country, and there's a lot of different circumstances. So when you look at a more regional basis, in AAA, like in New England, for example, New England and New York metro area, you're probably talking in the range of 20 to 25%. So we're slightly below that. The thing you also have to remember is, and they mentioned in the report, is that with the, because we're so reliant on property taxes, because property taxes are generally unencumbered, nobody can attack property taxes, and we have a limited authority to raise taxes. That automatically puts us at a AA credit rating. So from there, they factor in, that kind of offsets some of the fund balance, the lower fund balance, because a lot of other communities, a lot of other places, California, for example, Massachusetts, they can't raise taxes. They have caps on how much they can raise the taxes. We don't have that. So that helps the fund balance issue.
Thanks, Joe.
Any other questions? Can I get a motion to accept the town manager's report?
Second?
No, you have to say the motion.
Oh, I thought you were taking over for me. I thought you were taking over. So I went back to second. I'd like to make a motion to accept the town manager's report.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. L.
Appointments. Agenda item L3, I'd like to make a motion that Donald Doeg be reappointed to the Building Code Board of Appeals for a 5-year term beginning immediately and ending September 30th, 2029.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I'd like to make a motion that Philip Dunn be reappointed to the Building Code Board of Appeals for a 5-year term beginning immediately and ending September 30th, 2029.
Second?
Motion and second. Any discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I'd like to make a motion that Robert Eisner be reappointed to the Conservation and Inland Wetlands Commission for a 4-year term beginning October 1st, 2024 and ending September 30th, 2028.
Second?
Motion and second. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Make a motion that Mark Simpson be reappointed to the Conservation Inland Wetlands Commission for a 4-year term beginning October 1st, 2024, ending September 30th, 2028.
Second?
Motion and second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Make a motion that Philip Chabot be reappointed to the Economic Development Commission for a 2-year term beginning October 1st, 2024, ending September 30th, 2026.
Second?
Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes.
Make a motion that Lun Warren Howe be reappointed to the Economic Development Commission for a 2-year term beginning October 1st, 2024, ending September 30th, 2026.
Second?
Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Make a motion that Pete Ramchandani be reappointed to the Economic Development Commission for a 2-year term beginning October 1st, 2024, ending September 30th, 2026.
Second?
Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Make a motion that Stephen Lamb be appointed to the Human Relations Commission for the balance of a 2-year term beginning immediately and ending June 30th, 2026.
Second?
Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Still got it.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
L13, I make a motion that Francie Brown Holmes be reappointed to the Land Acquisition Committee beginning immediately for an indefinite term.
Second?
Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
L14, that Matt Ross be reappointed to the Unionville Historic District and Properties Commission for a 5-year term beginning October 1st, 2024, and ending September 30th, 2029.
Second?
Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
L15, that Kelly Shadler be reappointed to the Unionville Historic District and Properties Commission as an alternate for a 5-year term beginning October 1st, 2024, and ending September 30th, 2029.
Second?
Motion second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And I believe that's all.
Nope, I got.
Oh, you got one more, I'm sorry.
L20, I make a
Thank you.
motion that Gino Avenosa be appointed as constable for the balance of a 2-year term beginning immediately and ending January 1st, 2026.
Second?
Motion second. And that is this Diane Rogers was a constable. She passed away a month and a half ago due to a terminal illness. So Gino is going to step in for the balance of her remaining term. Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right. Okay, so that's it for the appointments. Are you here for the interval house?
Yes.
Well, we can fit you in right now if you're ready.
Oh, thank you. My apologies for being a bit late. I got lost. I've been in the Hartford area now about 7 years, and I keep thinking I know where I'm going.
It's not a problem. You can actually stand right at the podium there.
Happily to.
Thank you.
So good evening, everybody, and thank you for your patience. My name is Mary Jane Foster, and I'm the president and CEO of Interval House. Interval House, just as a reminder, is the domestic violence agency that serves Hartford and the surrounding 24 towns and cities. We are the largest domestic violence agency in the state, not only because we serve those 24 towns and cities, but because of the volume of work that we see. It's an incredibly diverse area. We go all the way from, East Granby down to Marlborough and Hebron and Andover and Bolton and so forth, through Farmington, Avon, West Hartford. And so the suburbs into the most urban areas, from the richest to the poorest, most highly educated to the least, it is incredibly diverse. Added to that diversity, of course, the Hartford region, that corridor from New Haven to Springfield, is one of the largest corridors of immigrants in the country. And so we also have a rich cultural diversity that we work with. To give you an idea, we're about a $3.4 million agency. We have 38 employees. 31 of those employees are direct service. The rest of us are just, doing what we do. But the people who do the work are about 31 strong. We have the largest court advocacy program in the state. We have a 25-bed safe house, and of course a 24/7 hotline. To give you an idea of volume pre-COVID, we were at about 4,200 victims a year. Post-COVID, we were at 6,800. I'm happy to tell you we're down to 6,300. So we're running 30% over where we were in 2018 with the same number of advocates and essentially the same funding. Or at least government funding. Private funding obviously has had to go up so that we could meet that need. I'm incredibly proud of the work that we do. I will tell you that we work with constituents, victims from every town and city in the region. One of the silver linings, if you will, of the Jennifer Farber-Dulos case is that people realized you could be born into a privileged home, raised with love, have a brilliant education, be beautiful, have lots of friends, have wonderful children, and still be dead. It's a harsh reality, but it is a reality. And the reality is that it happens, domestic violence happens across all socioeconomic lines. So it doesn't matter your color, it doesn't matter the title of your business card, it doesn't matter your net worth, or even your level of education. It is prevalent. The CDC says there are about 12 million cases of domestic violence a year, which makes it essentially a public health crisis. The three prongs of that are, is it widespread? Are the ramifications of it widespread? And will it have a long-lasting impact? So it's a public health crisis. 1 in 4 women, 1 in 7 men. Interval House serves about 80% women and 20% men. We, in our safe houses for women, but we also find safe shelter for men, and they receive all of the services that our women do. I'm here tonight because I wanted to introduce Interval House, have you get to know Interval House a little bit better. I brought a number of brochures and information for you, which I'll leave behind. Also purple pens, because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And it is our month designated by the United States Congress to talk about this issue and to highlight it. We have the Jennifer Farber-Dulos Walk on September 28th at the Yard Goat Ballpark. We have on the 23rd of October a breakfast at the Riverview. It is hosted and funded by the owner of the Riverview, so 100% of those proceeds go to victims. There are 500 seats, and every year he teases me. He says, I got another 100 seats. You could fill them. So I want to invite you all to that breakfast. It is free. You can be sure that I will ask you for money, but the breakfast is free. The food is absolutely delicious. And this year we will have a really interesting survivor tell her story. She's a young woman, tall, thin, blonde, athlete, star student, who fell into a relationship her first year of high school that became abusive and controlling. And it took her, it also became physically abusive, and it took her until her senior year in high school when she was knocked to the floor in her boyfriend's home. And her boyfriend's mother offered to drive her home. She said no. And by the time she got herself home, she realized what she had to do. And she is incredibly mature and poised and present in her story. It's an incredibly powerful story, so I hope you can join us for that. The big ask that I will make, of course, we always accept municipal funding, always. Greater community funds, always. But the big ask I have for you is to help raise awareness about who we are and the resources that we have. Domestic violence is present in all of our communities. You cannot escape it, whether it's a Jennifer Dulos or it's the two women murdered in Simsbury, two in the last 2.5 years, or the murders that we see across every town and city. It's important that we get out. Interval House's new initiative, it's not new, but a special emphasis we have now is on getting into the schools and talking to the kids. So if you can open doors for us, I'm happy to come talk to your Lions Club, your Rotary Club, the Elks, the library. We do programs in the library on a regular basis, and happy to work with any of the schools, their clubs. It's all free, and all of our conversations with folks, regardless of their age, is not only free, but confidential by state statute. So please help us out by spreading the word. I'm going to leave you your pens, and I'm going to leave you brochures so that you won't forget. I appreciate this time. I'm happy to take any questions, and thanks so much for having me here.
Well, thank you very much for coming and
You
giving
bet.
us a great explanation of what you guys provide for the victims here. And we happen to have the liaison to the Board of Education here, so maybe she can put a good word into the Board of Education and have you do our presentation there.
Hello.
But does anybody have any questions, please? All good?
I think Amy does.
What do you attribute the increase recently to?
That's such a great question. And when COVID hit, we said, well, the isolation is going to make it tougher, because even if you were in an abusive relationship, you could get to the grocery store, the house of faith, or your work, or whatever. And now everybody was tied in close together. And sure enough, we did see that spike. And we fully expected that once the COVID restrictions lifted, that it would get better, completely forgetting what we of all people should have known, that when an abuser loses control is when it gets really dangerous. So we went into the isolation thing, made it more dangerous. We came out of it, made it more dangerous. And that's the best explanation I or anyone I know can give you. We don't know why. What we know is that the numbers are not abating. We also know that there is an increased intensity of violence. There is a almost total lack of regard for the rule of law. More protective orders are being violated, more GPS ankle bracelets being cut off. Really a marked increase in violence and danger.
Any other questions?
I just want to say thank you, Mary Jane. You guys do important work, and I very much appreciate that you're. I guess my one question would be, hearing the incredible increase, and yet you're still working with the same number of staff. How is it? Because that same number of staff is working, or is it because you need more funding to increase staff? Is there an impact there?
Yeah, let me get my Kleenex. The fact is that it has all to do with a reduction in federal funding. The Victims of Crime Act was funded by restitution from largely white-collar crime, restitution, fines, things like that. In a pinch one year, Congress, in its wisdom, took those restricted designated funds and put it into the general budget, thinking that VOCA, the Victim of Crimes Act, had plenty of money. Well, they watched the money go like this, and literally, I guess it was 3 years ago this fall, Joe Biden signed I'm not making this up, Fix VOCA Act. And it redirected the restitutions and fines into the Victims of Crime Act pot, but it just hasn't been enough. So we have seen funding go down and down and down. To the credit of our state legislature, they have used CARES Act and ARPA money to meet that gap. As we all know, that the CARES and ARPA money is essentially gone. It will certainly be gone by next June 30th. And next July 1, we have been told to expect as much as an 80% cut in VOCA funding. To give you an idea, our VOCA funding is about $600,000 of the $3.4 million budget. It funds all of the court advocates. So I am scrambling like crazy to figure out how we can fund those positions, because I can't do more and more with less. I can't. So we're working on it. I've made some progress, but I'm happy that I've got at least 9 months to figure this out, because it's a big issue.
Do you get funding from any of your member towns?
Yes, many of them. Hartford leads the pack. We have a victim advocate embedded with the Hartford Police, which they fund for $50,000, as well as an emergency service grant that's about, I think it's 17 this year. Manchester 100% funds a full-time advocate embedded with their police department, as well as a CDBG grant of $10,000. West Hartford is 10, East Hartford is 10, and then we have Glastonbury is 10, and then there's several 7,500, 5,000, 2,500. We have been working on that not only because we work with your residents. You know, I think we worked with 80 residents from Farmington last year. We have victims in all 24 towns. Whether you're in Andover or Farmington or Hartford, we have victims in all those towns. So we have made that pitch, and we've been very fortunate that many municipalities have been helpful. We have another municipality who has said they're going to help us fund another one of those advocates in the police department. So we're working on it. All you can do is nibble away at it.
Do you find that the advocates that are embedded with the local police department is really a huge success?
Yes, it is. And one way you can tell if it's a success, and I don't ask, I only kind of snoop around, but if our victim is invited to roll call, she's made the cut. And they are all included in roll call. They're an integral part of the departments. The Manchester Police Chief has said, you know, she's one of us. I don't know what we'd do without her. What they do essentially is work with the very toughest cases. The cases where victims have been deemed by the police officer to be in highest risk of danger. And then she is all over that case. Make sure that we navigate her properly. I'm saying her because it's 80%, her through the court system, and also all of those other case management referral things to do all we can to keep her safe. Safety planning is our primary object. That's what we do. And the safety plan you make at 10 o'clock at night might not be good at 6 in the morning or at 2 the next afternoon. So it's a very dynamic, constant thing. And in West Hartford, East Hartford, Manchester, and Hartford, all of them have said how valuable they find it. And again, we are happy because we know that they are working with the highest risk. All that said, the average, when I talked about the rule of law, the average number of homicides in Connecticut was 14, kind of came down to 12. Last year was 19. And with 2 cases yet to be determined as to whether they're family violence or intimate partner. So we're back up from 12 to 19 or 21. This is not a blip. It is a significant issue for us.
Anybody else? Well, thank you for your time.
All right.
Please leave us the stuff. I will do what I can to
I will.
promote you out there.
Great, thank you.
Bob gave you, brought you swag, purple button. October's coming up. You can wear it all day every day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Great, thank you.
All right, we'll go now to M, old business. We're clear there. So we'll go to N, new business.
Okay, item N1, to approve the attached resolution adopting the Capital Regional Natural Hazard Mitigation Plan Update 2024-2029.
Second?
Motion is second. Kathy?
This is the capital, the CROG has updated their hazardous mitigation plan, and to be eligible for the grants, we need to authorize me to sign their resolution.
All right, and this is their resolution, not our resolution.
Yep.
Any questions?
Just, I did actually look up the natural hazard mitigation plan and realized it was over 200 pages and did not have that time to read it. So in a nutshell, is the town obligated to do anything when we sign it? Are there costs to the town?
No, it's actually, if we want to, any of the grants that come through, we have to sign it. And we've signed it back in 2014 and 2019, and they've updated their plan. I think they added the climate part of it, and that's why they were updating it. So we've in the past applied for grants, and have we received some grants through this, or not? Not to our knowledge, but we are eligible to apply, and we have to have the resolution to receive the money.
Okay, and this resolution is essentially, other than the changes to the plan, there's no real change to the resolution, if that makes sense. Like, we're not agreeing to anything different, or signing
Correct.
anything different than we have before.
Correct.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
N2, to set a public hearing at 7:05 PM on October 8th, 2024, in the Town Hall Council Chambers to amend Farmington Town Code, Chapter 165, Solid Waste.
Second?
Motion second. Kathy?
So this is to set a public hearing. We're going to have CROG come to the next meeting and do a presentation for us in detail about it. So we're really just setting a public hearing. What we're doing is we're amending our solid waste chapter 165. We're actually repealing it and replacing it with a new section. So they will be at the meeting, and they'll go through a presentation for us.
And they can answer all of our questions at that point?
Correct.
All right. Anything else from the dais?
Will they have something that kind of shows the changes, just like in track changes, or something that makes it easy to kind of see?
Yes.
Do that, okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're part of this group as it is now, and basically, and Russ is, what are you, the secretary of the group?
Treasure.
Russ is the treasurer of the group, and after COVID, they have regrouped, and we have some new towns that are part of it, and they're changing up the bylaws a little bit and some different things. So the CROG is going to be here, Russ will be here, and they'll go through it in detail for us.
Great.
Anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
N3, to adopt the attached resolution which authorizes the town manager to enter into and deliver to the State of Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection any and all documents which it deems to be necessary or appropriate for a grant of $208,000 for the Farmington Center Connectivity Project Phase 1.
Second?
So this
Motion
came.
is second.
Oh.
Thank you.
This came from DEP. It's again a resolution that authorizes us to get our grant for $208,000. That's the grant, Brian, that the bike committee has.
Yeah, I was excited to see
Yeah,
this. so-
yeah, so the resolution. So we have to sign that, or to adopt it. We're not signing anything, we're adopting the resolution.
All right. Any questions?
Just a point of curiosity, I saw that it was DEP. What's the connection between DEP and and the connectivity?
Brian, would you know for the grant why it went through the DEP, the Trails grant? I'm
You know, I
not,
can't say that I could answer that right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know, Russ?
I might have to have an answer. This, DEEP puts out, they have X amount of dollars for funding every year, and because it's a Trails grant application.
Okay.
It's from, basically, to get us through Farmington Center from the bridge, trying to this is come up with a schematic plan to show where the location of that trail access would be to get us from basically Garden Street area up to through the judgment area. So it's a preliminary kind of study.
Okay, thanks.
All the orientation of the trail.
All right. Any other questions?
The language of this resolution is what DEEP requires.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
And 4, to adopt the attached resolution which authorizes the town manager to enter into and deliver to the State of Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection any and all documents which it deems necessary or appropriate for the Westwoods Clubhouse improvements and additional four pickleball courts.
Second.
Motion is second. Kathy?
So we got notified by DEEP. This was the extra funding that we got through our state representatives, and I guess this grant that we received is going through DEEP. I'm not certain why it is going through DEEP, but it is going through DEEP, and this is the paperwork that we have to fill out.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
And 5, to award a contract for the purchase of one 2025 Jacobson Fairway mower to MTE Equipment Solutions, Inc. of New Milford, Connecticut, at the purchase price of $84,250.
Second.
Motion is second. Kathy?
This motion is to contract with the vendor to purchase a new fairway mower that will be used at the Westwoods Golf Course staff for their daily operations. It is being, the unit is being acquired would replace a 2001 mower. The funds of $85,000 are in the capital budget, and the purchase went through a cooperative bid.
Questions?
Why is it through Massachusetts? I just noticed that it's a cooperative bid through Massachusetts, so I was just curious.
The state of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts has this large tractor recreational equipment bid that a lot of the equipment suppliers get involved with. So it's the closest regional bid we could find. There's other bids. Sourcewell, which is out of Minneapolis, has a similar type of bid. It's not as favorable terms. What's happened in the past 5 years is that more and more cooperative bidding has taken place. But now the challenge is to find that cooperative bid that's the most advantageous to the town. And this is the most advantageous one we can find.
Thank you.
Thanks for finding that.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
And 6, to award a contract for the purchase of one John Deere mower to United AG and Turf of Farmington, Connecticut, at a purchase price of $70,015.36.
Second.
Motion is second. Kathy?
This motion is to contract with a vendor to purchase a new deck mower that will be used by the grounds division for their daily operations. The unit being acquired would replace a 2006 mower, and this unit uses this piece of equipment to cut grass in the summer, gather leaves in the fall, and for snow blowing in the winter. And there's $83,000 in the capital budget for this.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
And 7, that Berkshire Bank be designated as a depository for town funds.
Second.
Motion is second. Kathy?
We are adding a new bank to deposit town funds.
Any questions?
Are we
Yes.
taking any off the list, or are we just adding one?
Just that.
Just curious.
All right. Anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
And 8, that the following appropriation transfers be made from and to the accounts listed below in the fiscal year 2023-2024 general fund budget.
Second.
Motion second. Kathy?
As you see, we have to add, we take money from certain accounts and add them to others for a net of $242,700. If you look at the last page of the note, you can see in summary the fiscal year 23-24 general fund revenues exceeded budgeted amounts by $2,438,874, and expenditures were less than budgeted amounts by $637,762, resulting in a positive result of operations totaling $3,076,000. When this account is added to the unassigned fund balance, it increases the general fund unassigned fund balance to $23,442,712, or 18.23% of the operating budget. And then in detail, it shows the revenue and the expenditures.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
N9, to award a contract for the purchase of treated road salt for the 2024-2025 winter season to Cargill, Inc. of North Olmsted, Ohio, at a purchase price of $93.87 per ton.
Second.
Motion second. Kathy?
The purpose of this motion is to contract with a vendor to supply treated road salt, which will be used by the Highway and Grounds Division on snow and ice-covered roads and sidewalks during the upcoming winter season. It's estimated that the town will use 2,000 tons during the 24-25 winter season, bringing the value of this award to $187,740. Funds are available in the Highway and Grounds operating budget. The contract was through the Capital Region Purchasing Cooperative Bid number 765.
Any questions? Yes,
I
Brian?
just have a quick one because I'm curious. Since we had such a mild winter, did we purchase salt last year and did we have any left over? And
Russ?
Yes and yes.
yes, and yes. So are we just adding to what we have to balance it out?
We're still buying the same amount that we normally would have, but our barn is half, 3/4 full.
Oh, okay.
So we have to purchase a minimum of 50%.
Which I get, yeah.
It's a minimum that we have to purchase, so that's what we had to purchase, that's what we put the barn with.
Excellent. We got room for that?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Just curious.
I need more money for the barn, but
We're getting pickleball courts.
listen, we just replaced a 2001 and 2006 mower.
Slowly but surely, it gets there. Can we sell the extra salt? Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
N10, to change the time and location of the October 22nd, 2024 Town Council meeting from 7 p.m. in the Town Council chambers to 5:30 p.m. at Miss Porter's school.
Second.
Motion is second. Kathy?
As I stated in the manager's report, Miss Porter's School has invited the town council to hold their meeting at their location. Council members will have an opportunity to tour the facility and meet with students and Miss Porter's staff. Over the years, the town council has held a meeting at Miss Porter's School to discuss topics of mutual interest.
Any questions?
Will, last time I went to a meeting at Miss Porter's, we had dinner there first.
I think we are having dinner. They've invited us to dinner.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
So yes, so 5:30 for dinner, otherwise no dinner. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
N11, to approve the property tax refunds listed below.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And before we adjourn, we'll be going into executive session.
Make a motion to adjourn to executive session to discuss collective bargaining.
Second.
In attendance at the executive session shall be limited to members of the town council, town manager, assistant to the town manager. Approvals of this motion shall be by 2/3, and I'll stop talking.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes at 7:53. Have a good night, everybody, and stay safe.